Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So on day 29 of AWS series, today we are going to understand AWS IAM Access Key. So IAM stands for Identity and Access Management, and access keys are similar to username and passwords. So let's understand in more detail, and we will also see the use case where we can use access keys to access our AWS resources as well. And finally, we will go with a demonstration as well. So IAM access keys in AWS are a type of long-term credentials used to programmatically access AWS services through the AWS CLI, SDKs or APIs. So SDKs are software development kit. So suppose you are building any applications from your local and you want to access maybe S3 service or anything, maybe you want to connect to a database. In that case, you can use a access key as well. So here I have given an example as well. If you are using a script to upload a files to an S3 bucket or manage EC2 instance via AWS CLI, you will use IAM access keys instead of logging in via the AWS console. So basically access key consists two parts: access key ID and secret access key. So secret access key ID is like a username and secret are the passwords. So with the help of these two combinations, we can access AWS resources from our local system as well, or if you want, we can integrate in our software or in our application code base as well. So there are few best practices which we have to follow while using a access key. So use IAM roles for apps on AWS. It means, what does it mean basically? So instead of using access keys, if you are accessing any application on AWS, always use IAM role, not access keys. Access keys are generally used to access AWS resources programmatically. Never hard code access keys in your code. So while you are integrating or while you are putting your access keys in your applications or in your code base, you should not hard code these values. Either you can use environment variables or you can create a config files, and these values should not be present in a version control system. Like if you are using Azure repos or a code commit or maybe a git, you should not check in those credentials, because these are uh, basically, if anybody got these details, they can access AWS resources. And always rotate these access keys every 90 days or less. So to keep security, basically best practices, you should always rotate your access keys within a 90 days or maybe a less period. Attach only necessary permissions using IAM policies. So like basically you should attach only least permission, least privilege to your identity, to your access key or IAM policies. Sorry, to these access keys. So like if suppose if somebody wants to list or see the details of EC2 instance, then they should only do that particular activity. They should not have any more rights. So you always have to follow a least privilege concept while you are working in any cloud platform. It's not specific to AWS. If you are working on Azure or Google Cloud, anywhere, you should always follow a least privilege. Now what we will do, we will go to our AWS console. So as of now, I am logged in from my root user account. You can see this is my root user account. This is the account ID. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a user, and on that user we will basically assign the access keys, because to create access key you need a IAM user. So let me first create a IAM user. So let me go to users and let me create a user. So let me give a username, let me give demo1. Provide user access to AWS management console. This is optional, but if you want, you can assign permissions so user can basically log in to your AWS management console. So for now, basically, okay, we will not provide, we will create a default user first. Later we will log in. Basically, we just want to see what all the details we can see when we logged in from this demo one user. So let me click on next. Add users to group permission, copy permissions. Like if you have any other groups or users, you can replicate the same permission to this newly created users, or you can attach the policies as well. So we are not going to see any, basically we are not going to attach any permissions for now. We are just simply going to create a users, and then we will try to log in from that user. Let me click on next, and let me create a users. So the demo one user has been created. Now what we will do, we will go to permission boundaries. Okay, not here. So we have to create a access key. Okay, so for that what we have to do, we have to go to security credentials, and you can see here access key. So there are no access keys, because from this user, like from this user, basically on this user basically we will create a access key. So let me create a access key first. So like use case, say how you want to use these access keys. So we will use AWS CLI. So let me select command line interface, and let me click this, and let me click on next. Description I will leave it default. Let me create a value. So you have to always copy this access key ID and secret key. Secret key basically you cannot copy it later. So as soon as you create an access key, you have to copy this secret key somewhere in secure place. So let me copy the secret key, and let me open a notepad. So here I will log in the secret ID, and here I will copy the access key. Okay, so now next what we will do, let me, you haven't viewed or downloaded secret key. Okay, it's fine because we have already copied it. Now we will enable a console access, so at least we can log into our AWS console. So here we will use a auto generated password. It's fine, enable console access. So let me copy the console password as well. So I will put in notepad, and sorry, okay, I think it's the same. Okay, now this is the console sign in URL. So from this URL, this particular user, demo user, can log into AWS console. This is the account ID. So let me copy this URL, and let me open another browser. So here let me paste it, and let me maximize this one as well. So you can see by default this account ID, it is already taken, and instead of username we'll put a username which is demo1, and let me copy the password again, and let me go here. Okay, so now we can access our AWS management console from this user. Now what next we need, we want to use these access keys to access our resources. So for that what I'll do, let me create a S3 bucket here. So we don't have any buckets. Let me quickly create a S3 bucket. So let me give a name demo. We will put some random numbers because this name should be unique across the globe, and I rest all the fields I will keep it default. Let me create. Okay, so now I will open my command prompt, and I have already installed a AWS CLI. If you want, you can simply search for AWS CLI and you can download it. So like it is always available for Windows, Mac, or whatever platform you are using. So okay, let me check another link. AWS CLI downloads. Okay, so from here basically we can download the AWS CLI. So we have a like for Linux, Mac and Windows. So I'm already having it. To confirm it, what I will do, I will simply search, type here AWS, and we will get some response here. So you can see, so it means it is installed. So now what we will do, let me close this window and let me open my command prompt, and let me just increase the fonts so it will be visible. Let me put 24. Okay, so now it is, I think, more visible. Now here I will run AWS configure command. Let me clear the screen first, and let me close this window as well. Okay, so it's a CLS command. So now I will run here AWS configure. So now it will ask for a AWS access key ID. So let me copy the access key ID and let me paste it here. Now it will ask for a secret value. So let me copy the secret value as well and let me paste it. So now it is asking for a default region. So to check a region, I'm in Asia Pacific Mumbai, so which is AP South 1, and if I check here, so AP South 1, let me hit on enter, and default output format I will keep on none. So it means we are like basically now we can access the resources from these access keys, but before that we should have access as well. So what I will do, if I'll search for AWS S3 LS, so sorry, not S3 LS, so it will not work because these keys are keys doesn't have access on S3. So what we will do, you can see it's not authorized basically. So what I will do, I'll go to my IAM user and we will assign a permission. So let me go to my users and I'll go to demo user, sorry, a demo one user, and let me add a permission here. We will attach a policy here. So let me search here S3. So here I will assign Amazon S3 read-only access. So let me assign this permission and let me click on next and add permissions. So if I'll go back to my command prompt and if I'll again search for AWS S3 LS, so now you can see, we can see the name of our S3 bucket which we have created. So it means from these access keys we can only access S3 bucket because we have provided access to S3 bucket only. If we want to access another resources, we have to add a permission to this particular user, IAM user, which is demo one, then we can access other resources as well. So that's how basically we can create access keys. For that we definitely need a IAM user, because without IAM user we cannot create a access key. Now one more thing, you have to always review, like for example if I'll go to policy, so you can see more details about what this users can do as part of this policy. So he can get, list, describe, so all these permissions are there as part of S3 bucket policies. So if you if you open this one, sorry, my mistake, I have opened this particular window. So what I want to see, you can see the control access enabled without MFA. So you have to always enable a MFA to keep your users secure. Like it should be a more security we can add if we enable multi-factor authentication for this particular user. And for root user you have to always enable a multi-factor authentication. So you can see details as well, like when this user like last access from this user's account. So we can see allowed services, the last access information, so the service this user can access. So from this user we have access Amazon S3. So if I search for service access, okay, we cannot find here. Okay, so there are many more things as part of this particular users which we will cover in separate video. In just in this video I just want to give a quick overview how we can create access keys and how we can access our AWS resources from the access key. So I hope it's clear. In case if you have any doubts, you can ping me over comments. So that's all for today. See you next video. Thank you so much.